what we're doing is trying to educate and help our clients understand, what do you do best? How can we help? This is how we think we can help. This is how we typically see success elsewhere.
As we used to say, do what you do best, we'll handle the rest.
I'm hoping that shift is going to continue in our direction of, us being a viable partner for these groups and not just a staffing company.
Welcome to the Land Department Podcast. The state of land and energy as we see it.
Oh my God, welcome to the Cubs home opener. We're here with Brent Broussard, who's the bald wonder down in Houston, Texas. Brandon Ward, who loves his Oklahoma cream pies. And Khalil, who just recently shaved his mustache. Way to go, Khalil.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well done, Harry. Well done, Dr. Harry.
Way to go, Harry.
Gosh. That's great.
Oh, God.
Good content.
The bald. I should start writing down all my bald reference names. So I have a freshman in high school now. All his buddies call me the bald eagle. And when they see me like at football practice or like picking wood up, they all go, there's just like kids scream and call all over the parking lots. It's pretty ridiculous, but
Bald eagle.
I think it's pretty funny because really we're all 14-year-old boys on the inside, right?
Never grow up.
No.
Never surrender.
Not at all. No, Khalil. So, man, when's the last time we did the Dudley Happy Hour / Roundtable?
I think it was April. I want to say April, right before summer got crazy and there were horror stories in Denver with Brent and Steve.
Yeah, it's been pretty boring since then.
Yeah.
Steve, you've been through a whirlwind, man.
I mean, holy hell. I can't believe it's already middle of August.
So you got a deviated septum repaired, and then you moved houses where the floors just have to
had a birthday, almost like burnt my house down on the 4th of July. Moved houses, went on vacation. Yeah.
something like
been
that.
fun.
We've had 2 nasal surgery repairs in the company, man. Me and Steve are breathing now, son. Except I got a little whistle. I got a little whistle in there that I don't quite know what to do about.
Oh, that's just like an alarm clock. Whistle goes.
I think this is like God's joke because I'm the only person that in the family that can't actually whistle, and now I try to interfere with nature, and now my nose whistles. And
Hold on.
Now
We've
I wanna
done
hear
you
you
for
try to
20
whistle.
years. You can't whistle?
I can't whistle, man.
I gotta hear you try.
Yeah, we got to see you try.
Mine's like, hey. It's not a whistle, man. It's terrible. Yeah, it's all I got, dude.
It could have been worse. I've seen worse.
Very-
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, there you go. That's
So,
great.
man, yeah. So it's been quite the summer. It's besides our personal escapades, the Steve and I's story about Denver's probably for another podcast.
Probably.
I'm trying not to relive that experience. But yeah, God, lots happened. Business was rocking and rolling in April. Things were kind of picking up. We'd been on probably a 12 or 18 month consecutive growth month over month as far as just the landmen we had working and the activity going on. And after April, man, May, June, July kind of leveled out for us. We actually dropped a little bit. Don't know what that was about. I think, well, in our part of the world in Texas, it was natural gas prices.
Gas prices.
So natty gas slowed down on us. And a lot of the work that we picked up, some of the bigger East Texas jobs, just kind of dwindled out. And so we had a couple of pretty nice jobs going, and those just went away. So numbers went down. We were able to kind of make it through. Fortunately, Stephen had picked up kind of during that time. So we were able to move some folks around and keep the important people, to keep people busy. And the last month, guys, things have started to pick back up. I think we're just about back up to the levels we were in April or May, actually. So don't know what that's all about. Probably most of it, I think, was oil and gas or natural gas related. Vacations, it's generally like June and July are pretty slow, man. A lot of our clients are out. Everybody's on vacation and trying to get a little personal time in. But boy, I tell you, I don't know, down here at least, I don't know about everybody else, but man, the due diligence has hit hard the last 30 days. I think just down here in Texas, we've got 4 diligence projects going that all have kicked off in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So excited for what the rest of the year holds on our end. I think kicked off a couple other traditional, projects today. So it's pretty optimistic for the rest of the year down here, at least in the South, in Texas, Permian Basin, some Louisiana and stuff like that. So yeah, feeling pretty decent. It's skeptical but decent.
Yeah, I was telling these guys, it's always like you're on the edge of that cliff and about to fall off. It's constant in this business. I mean, we've been doing it for 20 years. Dudley Land been doing it for over 40, but it never changes. Every day you walk in the office, what's going to happen today? You have no clue if you're going to be able to stay on that cliff or not. And it's kind of the same story in the mid-con. A little bit. A couple due diligence projects may kick off at the same time here pretty soon. Obviously, they're both 30-day due diligences, so those are fun. Rockies region seems to be picking up a little bit. Looks like people are doing a little bit more up there. So, yeah, we're happy with where we are now. Like to see the rest of the year a little bit more growth through the second half, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Be real nice.
Should I say the quote that we wrote down the other day? I hate to get away, but this is a happy hour. We were
You can cut it.
The discussion was, why do people call us? We were more complaining, not complaining, but we were complaining. We love doing diligence. It's great. It keeps us busy. It keeps Landman going, but it's just stressful. And we said, man, why can't we just not get the work after? We want to keep working on this job. And I said something off the cuff, said, we're like the hot chick that don't know how to cook. And I guess that's, people just want to play with us for due diligence, but don't want to keep us around. So it was, I wrote it down because it was embarrassing, but also pretty funny. Me and Brandon had a good laugh about it.
We need to throw that on a koozie.
Yeah, that's it. That might be on a koozie. Dudley Land. We get to do diligence, but we don't cook.
Coming to your next WEN event, the Dudley Land koozie.
I know, man. All our lady clients, don't take that the wrong way. We love you. It was just pretty funny.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Steve, what's going on in your part of the world, babe?
Now that we've been fairly steady, growing this year, picked up a couple new clients actually. So it's been interesting. We're almost to a point where we got to start looking for some new management. Actually, I think it's all the guys up here are stressed and probably overworked, and just trying to get to that cusp of when do we add, who do we add, how do we add. I think that's what we've struggled with internally with a few different positions. So
that's always the hardest part.
All things up here. I mean, we're full steam ahead. So
yeah,
it's been good.
Yeah, it's been great, man. Y'all's team always done a really good job. I think that's always you kind of hit on the challenge that I think every field brokerage shop has is you want to make sure your project managers have the bandwidth to do the job the right way and give the projects the attention they need. But you don't want to have so many project managers that you got guys sitting there needing something to do, and you're right. I think company wide, we're probably in that place. We made a really good hire on the project coordinator kind of through our development, our pipeline. With Dudley Land, we'll bring in guys as project coordinators, and that's kind of our entry level in-house crew chief. We brought one in, Patrick Derman out of Dallas. He's doing a great job, man. He's jumped in, hit the ground running, done a really good job. And we're kind of in the same place down here. We need to get that pipeline, and that's a hard job to fill. It really is. You need somebody who's, obviously understands the work that we're doing, but has a little ambition, has a good work ethic, is good with people, is good with clients, can multitask. And that's a hard job it has a lot of characteristics that you got to, check to get somebody in the door. But, I think we've had that conversation, Steve, Brandon, and I, a lot over the last couple months, especially, or this month, especially when things are picking back up. It's like, all right, we're at that cusp. We need to start thinking about who and kind of really adding to that pipeline so that we can grow responsibly, I think is the biggest thing. I will say one thing we've always done really well is we haven't just hired management to hire management. We don't have a bunch of folks that we bring in and into our company to run jobs and then lay them off. I mean, it's a career job when Dudley hired you as a project manager or coordinator. I mean, that's the intention. And so I'm with you, Steve. I think we're close. I think we probably need to be thinking about it, and we're looking for those people, trying to actively cultivate those folks.
And I think we're on the right path with previously, if you had a coordinator in the Northeast, they never saw any Texas work or Midwest work. So we're trying to integrate the folks that we do have into different areas to get a little more experience, especially with the remote workforce as it is right now. There's no reason a guy from Oklahoma can't help run a project in Pennsylvania or vice versa.
Yeah. So to Steve's point, we've got Harrison down here in OKC helping out Tim Jackson up there in PA. And Harrison's a very smart person, and he's worked Northeast. He's also worked West Texas, and he's done Oklahoma. But he's up there, he's learning based on the skills he already has and putting those to use. And it's a great thing, like what I always think about is we used to have kind of the work and the clients to help bring these people up and through the ranks and teach them these things. And we still do have some great clients that are helping out with that and allowing that. But I think what we've got to remember is somebody's going to have to be doing this job when me, Brent, and Steve are gone. And how do we do that properly, bring those people through and really teach them the job? And who are those people? Who wants to do it? I think that's where we've really struggled is the who. This is a tough job. Our project managers work their tails off day and night, and they're committed to the projects, committed to our clients. And we're finding a few people that understand what it takes to do this job, and we're trying to capitalize on them. But those are hard to find these days, for sure, for one reason or another.
And when Brandon says gone, he means retired, not dead.
Either.
Hopefully.
This job might put me in the earth. I mean, either one is I got a 50-50 chance, guys.
I tell you what, I've been having so much damn computer problems the last month. I offered somebody my job. Like, I just damn near gave it's like, somebody take it. Somebody, please, because I'm out. I can't replace any more part, to this computer here. I don't know. Don't give me.
Is it the technology or is it the user? That's the question.
It is definitely the technology.
Okay.
It's always the arrow, never the Indian.
Exactly. A new set of golf clubs.
I've got a clip somewhere of Brent with an office chair that might say it's the user.
I don't know, man. I got this chair over here in timeout. It's still been in timeout.
That's great. So so with these project managers, as we're, talking about management, what are some of the things that sets people apart? Let's say there's a listener out there that's been a landman, that's maybe even, oh, wow, Dudley's maybe looking for management down the road. That's a position I think I can feel. What do they need to identify with?
I don't know. I mean, we had old Russell on a podcast one time, and he had a saying that was hand up, not hand out. And I don't know, for whatever reason, all the years I've known him, I've never heard him say that. But that's really it. It's hey, who wants it? Is we can seek out and we can identify, but man, the ones that rise to the top are the ones that want it, that want that something extra, that don't want to just do. And this is, don't take this wrong, but don't just want to do title, or don't want to do their job and stay at home. It takes a special kind of person and someone who say, hey man, what else can I do? I have ambition. I want an opportunity. I want to grow in my career and in my skill set, and I want a bigger challenge. And not that it's a good thing or a bad thing if you do want that or don't want that, but you got to be vocal, because this is something you have to want. It has to be in you. You got to have a competitive spirit. You got to be driven. You got to have a good work ethic, and maybe even so, you got to be in the right place in life where you can bite off this kind of job, right? And as a industry, a lot of us, back into the business in the early 2000s. Now we're on our mid 30s. We got young kids, we got families. I mean, there's a lot there that pulling on someone from, jumping into this profession and jumping into that kind of next level and what they're doing, particularly in the field side of things, the brokerage side. So it's, man, the guys and girls with their hand up. Hey, what can I do? How can I help? I want an opportunity. Those are the ones that really succeed and that are really obvious to us. Hell, Natalie Johns is a perfect example of that. She's killing. She's a new hire for us here in Texas as a project manager. She's focused 100% on renewables. She's energized. She's, what can I do? I want to learn. I want to do. How can I help? Hell, we got to call her and say, how can we help you, Natalie? Because she's just going. And that's really any one of our managers at one point in time exhibited those qualities, right? And they made it known that they want it. And so we're constantly looking for those folks. That was a long-winded answer, but it's really, it boils down to that. You got to want it.
Just add that time management. It's what you learn in college, being able to balance work life and still be with your family, but also out there hitting the streets trying to pick up business. And I also always say a good attribute to have is those people have been turned down by the opposite sex several times, because you're going to be told no a lot. And you better get used to it.
That's why we have such a great looking leadership team at Dudley.
That's why we're so good at picking up business. So damn ugly. We get turned down.
Yeah.
We're zero threat.
Yeah.
They get used to hearing no.
Okay. Well, I'll call you back tomorrow. So you're saying there's a chance.
On a serious note, I was going to add about Natalie how well she fit into our culture, though.
Yeah.
And for sure. In finding the right person, it's very tough at first to see if they're going to fit with the rest of the team. And Natalie has really been fantastic in that aspect.
For sure.
Yeah, she's great to work with. And I think that's something that can be overlooked a lot, is not just the hunger and the drive that they have and the hand up, but also that they get along with people and that they can have conversations about things other than work, that they can fit culturally and not, they have a little bit of humility to them as well. So definitely something to consider.
Yeah, for sure. Patrick's exhibited that. He's out there stomping. He wants to learn. You got to know what you know and know what you don't know, and be honest about that, especially for the folks that they're kind of coming up through the program. We don't expect you to know how to handle every situation or know how to do every job, but we expect you to be willing to take it on and ask questions, take guidance, and seek advice, and leverage what the company has to offer you as far as access to experience, access to tools, access to systems, and process, and support, all those things that really allow us to do the job. It allowed Steve Brandon and I to run projects before we became higher level leaders in the company, and I think we keep that front and center, from our perspective is that, hey, this is a hard job. It's our responsibility to make sure we're giving these guys and girls everything they need to do the job. And I think any good brokerage shop does that, or any company. And, you got to make sure that people in your organization have what they need to get the job done, and you can encourage them and allow them, make it a comfortable environment to not know all the answers, and to mess up. God, if you're not messing up, you're not working hard enough. That's just all there is to it. So all these folks do a real good job of that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of culture, I know since the last time we've talked, some things have happened. You guys had the managers retreat, and a big part of, the focus inside of the leadership team has been on the mission and the values of Dudley Land. We've really solidified delivering energy through land, which I think has been fantastic. If you listen to the show and don't go to the Dudley website often, it's now plastered everywhere. But also we've got these 4 values. I think maybe we could go around, maybe talk about those a little bit. Obviously we've identified those values, but they've existed inside of Dudley for a very long time. But we've got people, we've got service, product, and example. What does values mean to each of you? And even share maybe some stuff from the managers retreat that was talked about with these values.
Yeah, Steve, why don't you go? You did a really good job of kind of spearheading our exercise in the managers retreat, talking about these 4 values.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, those I think they killed it at the managers retreat. We've been working with a business coach, and she was involved in it, but we went through, and somehow we had 18 people there and 18 core values, and we tasked each of them with coming up with their understanding of it, as well as something that how they've seen it in action before. So it went a little longer than we thought, but the responses we got from our management team, I thought they were fantastic. And I think that, we've lived these values for the past 20 years. All of them have. We've just never been in a place where we put them down on paper and actually had focus on them. And I think it hits home with especially me. I keep them up on my screen every day. And in our weekly meetings, we're trying to show examples and how someone used it in the past week or two. And I think just bringing those to the forefront all the time has really kept them in people's minds as they're going through their daily activities, as they're going through their workflow, as they're dealing with our customers, as they're dealing with their contractors. And I think it's only going to help us continue to grow and live those more and more and actually have them on the forefront.
Yeah, I'm amazed by how easy it was for us to come up with them. Like I said, we've been living it. Tom Dudley wrote a great mission statement at one point in time, and we fed off of that. But really, when Brent found that, I think he found it in an old drawer somewhere or something. But it was we all read it, and it was like, wow. Hadn't seen it in 15 years, but you could tell that Tom Dudley and Tom Havenstrite lived by them, and therefore filtered that all down to us. And it was remarkable to actually take that and then build it out between the 3 of us, and really recognize those values in our company that the company already had. And now we're just taking a more focused approach and putting it at the forefront, and making sure that we're providing a great venue for our employees, but also a great service to our clients, and also to the landowners that we deal with a lot, and the people all the way down to the people in the courthouse and the abstract plants. And it's about everybody we deal with. And then we've got some product things there about our deliverables and how we work and what we do. And we're going to strive to be the best whenever it comes to submitting a product, without costing our clients value. I think that's what they're all about.
What's fun for me is like we're now in the office, and I hear, which core value did you violate? Or like, I'm like, okay, great. It's actually on people's minds. I mean, if you can at least, and one of ours is, you got to smile and have fun. So I'm happy about that. We did the same exercise with our other employees, and I think they really I think the other employees really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard in those exercises to identify what the actual values are, but even more so to refine it down to just 4. But I also love that it's not like integrity and like these invisible words almost that like mean something, but you just kind of glance over, like people, product, service, example. I think those are really easy to remember, and I've talked to people that remember them so quickly, and you typically don't see that in a company. It's like, what are your core values? And nobody knows, so really cool to see.
But it's to Brandon's point. Yeah, I mean, we'd all kind of live those things, and putting them down on paper, when really just stopping and focusing on it and talking about who we are as a company. What kind of people do we want working with our company, and what kind of people are in our company, what kind of, and when we went through that, we landed, people, service, product, and if we do all those things right, we're going to set the proper example for our peers and for the industry and for our contractors, the landmen that work for us. So it really, that example part is the hardest thing to articulate, but it's the easiest thing to show. You know what I mean? Like you maybe can't put words to what being an example is, but you can sure show it. And I think if we're really doing all those things right and keep that central, not only does it make us better as a company and the people within our company, but frankly, we hope that it serves to recruit the best field landmen out there to want to come work for Dudley, because they know what they're going to get. They know the experience they're going to get. They know how we live. They know what they should expect from us. And as much as it is about our client knowing who we are and what we are, it's the contract landmen out there that we work with so much. They need to know who we are, and they need to know what to expect, and know that Dudley Land's a good place to work, and the people are going to respect you, and they got some things front and center other than just doing a job and hiring people and firing people to get a job done. So it's I've been real tickled with it, and it's been really good to get that out there and really get it down on paper and start to have a more structured approach to how we really look at that. And frankly, if you've got it right, it helps you make so many decisions. It's not only as a way to live, but it makes your decision making so much easier. How does this affect our people? How does this affect our service? How does this affect our product? And if you can really just go back to that, you can make a decision and move on, and not dwell on, was it the right decision, or should we have done this, or shouldn't we have done that? It's a little easier to sleep at night when you're in that position.
Part of our podcast is the state of land inside of energy, and we've already kind of talked a little bit about Dudley Land and kind of our state from the different locations you guys are in. But maybe as the industry as a whole, what are we kind of seeing as we wrap up the summer here in August? What are you guys seeing in your markets that you're focused on? Maybe Steve, let's start with you.
Yeah, we've seen some mergers and acquisitions. There was a big one announced today between Crestwood and Energy Transfer on the midstream side. Chesapeake just had a sale of their Eagleford assets. In the Northeast specifically, we don't see the due diligence and the amounts that you do in Texas or possibly Oklahoma. So I can't really speak to that as what Brent was mentioning earlier. On the renewable side, we have a number of conferences coming up. I think we hit 1 year of the Reduction Inflation Act.
Yep.
Actually, on LinkedIn today, saw a couple of our clients getting a big influx of capital for future projects, especially when we're working with down in Texas. So it's interesting in seeing what's going on that side of the industry. And I think that's going to continue to grow for us. But yeah, like Brent said earlier, I'm looking forward to a good finish of this year, and hopefully as we roll into election year and see how everything unfolds, just trying to make it through those rocky waves and get out on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, as far as what we've got going, what we're seeing, in the southern U.S., we're starting to see a lot of that transactional work, a lot of the due diligence, and it's just indicative of the more mature plays, right? A lot more players, a lot more opportunity for people to consolidate. doing a pretty good size one, but we're really doing a lot of those mid-sized projects right now on the diligence front, and those really fired up over the last 30 days. Pretty typical, seems to be starting a little bit earlier, but really usually September, October, November are when it really hits for us. And so, been good. As mentioned, we were able to keep a lot of our folks working, get them back on these due diligence jobs. Now we just got to hope and pray that they fall in line so we can keep everybody going. Yeah, start to see, to Steve's point, the renewables work is very busy here as well. Kind of this in the ERCOT market. We fired up 3 new acquisitions projects over the last 2 weeks, just in Texas alone, for solar acquisition, battery storage, things like that. We staffed some people with some wind projects as well up in the Panhandle. So that's been encouraging. Natalie and her team have been very busy on that front, particularly in the battery storage space in the southern U.S. Some of the announced staffing is coming back. Some of those capital projects are starting to go more clean up, and really that always spins off with mergers and acquisitions. Companies merge, they got to get their systems right and everything consolidated and entered into the system consistently. So we're encouraged by some of that. Some of it got a nice pipeline job that we're kicking off here soon as well. So that's always fun, something new and different for the guys. And as far as East Texas goes, getting a little bit of East Texas work too, a little bit of South Texas, kind of traditional, leasing and prospecting kind of exploration, fringy work that we start to see when oil prices start to get up a little bit higher, and as the gas projects, the proven areas start to expand, we'll start to see some of that, and that's just a sign of confidence. So, like Steve, we're pretty encouraged for the back half of the year, I think we'll keep going, and we'll see what next year brings with an election cycle coming in. That's always throws a little uncertainty end of the year, but all in all, looking along pretty good. We're either busy being busy or busy trying to be.
Yeah. Kind of talking mid-con. Mid-con's more the same, and really when people say mid-con, they mean Oklahoma, basically.
Making it sound so glamorous.
Yeah. Some more of the same, lots of drilling activity, but most of it's infill. Seeing some due diligence work finally. I mean, the A&D, the deals just haven't been on the market this year all that much, and now we're starting to see that pick up. I think you're going to see it pick up even more next month. Starting to hear a lot of people start to put packages out there for sale, which hasn't been a big year for that yet. So we should start seeing some due diligence in the mid-con. We are. The Rockies area seems to be picking up. Looks like people are looking in Wyoming and North Dakota a little harder. I think a little bit of that has to do with these mature plays. They've drilled it, and now they're wanting to go back to the hard stuff, that they skipped over because it was going to be difficult. So they're circling back, looking at those areas, maybe willing to spend a little bit more money on those things to get the title and the acquisitions done. From a renewable standpoint, been pretty steady. SPP, Southwest and Northwest have all been pretty steady. And you get a project. We're doing bids every week, on renewables projects, and some of them come through, some of them don't. But ultimately, since for the last really 2 years, renewables have been pretty steady. You're going to see them, I think, focus a little bit more on some things. Hopefully, you see them develop all their projects. I mean, I don't know how many they actually get developed that we work on, but it's not a very high percentage. Maybe you'll start seeing them actually developing more.
I'd probably say it's 30%, which I don't think a lot of people really realize that. How few of these jobs, these renewables projects, actually get to construction. maybe, and that's what we're striving to do always, right? Is increase that efficiency.
Yeah.
I have good reps when it comes to that. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, but I just heard that number and I've really been thinking about that a lot. It's like, shit, man, not many of these things really make it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and you get we just picked up a client in the lower mid Atlantic that was trying to do all of this in house, and they finally realized that it just doesn't work. You need a partner who's going to be able to handle the boots on the ground. That doesn't work with some person sitting in New York City trying to contact a landowner in Tennessee. So I'm hoping that shift is going to continue in our direction of us being a viable partner for these groups and not just a staffing company.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at history. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, oil and gas has been around since, Steve, this year, 1855, right?
Well, it depends on which state up here you ask. But the first producing oil well, I believe, was 1859.
59, yeah.
Drake's well, yeah.
Yep, Drake's well, which you can still go see, and you can buy a mason jar of oil and take it home, which is pretty interesting.
It's a cool little museum.
Yeah, but they've been outsourcing this work for well over a century, well over a century and a half, and there's a reason for that, and that's because it works. And I think renewables companies, like you said, are starting to kind of grasp that and understand it, and they will as time goes on. And they're doing a lot of it, but there are some that aren't. And while it might work on a small scale, it's not going to work over time. Yep. Yeah, I mean, as you develop these projects, it's going to be better to outsource it. As we used to say in the old company that we used to own, ARI, do what you do best. We'll handle the rest. That's really what it is. You need to be focused on your project and developing it. Let us focus on, organizing it, acquiring it, and understanding who owns what in your areas. But I mean, ultimately, we expect the renewables stuff to keep strong for the next couple of years. As Brent alluded to, though, we've got an election year. Things tend to change in our business. It tends to slow down. People are taking less risk because they don't know what's on the horizon. So hoping that doesn't happen. We'll see. This might be different. We'll see. I don't know. Nobody can tell.
Yeah. I think, and just kind of to go back to the renewables industry in general, we take for granted that really in the form that we see it now, they only started 3 years ago, right? And so, I mean, half of the industry didn't exist 3 years ago on the renewables front, and all these projects, all these different concepts, geothermal, hydrogen, carbon capture and sequestration, all these, and solar and all that. Although those projects and things existed, they didn't happen at the scale. They didn't exist at the scale. So a lot of what we're doing is trying to educate and help our clients understand, what do you do best? What how can we help? This is how we think we can help. This is how we typically see success elsewhere. And, we take for granted that, these folks are trying to figure it out and do the best they can. And so we're starting to see some of that sink in where folks understand, okay, this is where I need to outsource. This is what I can do in-house. And then it's a matter of, okay, who's the best outsourcing partner? And that's what, all of us are trying to be that kind of, that option that is the most turnkey and most responsive and efficient at what we do. It's changed our business, at Dudley Land. We're thinking about these projects and this industry and how we can service it. And that's led us to really think more holistic, like, okay, we do acquisitions, we do title, we do curative, and really conveying to our clients that we can do all those things and when they should bring us in and when we can help them and how long we can help them. We started a title insurance company. So in the state of Texas, we're writing title insurance policies. We've partnered with Select Title to form Dudley Select Title. And that really helps us, continue our service for these renewables projects. Not only do we do the acquisition and the mineral work and the title, we can also do the insurance and really kind of bring it all the way to construction and help that process be more efficient. Our goal is to take that 30% and eliminate any reason why you would, not be able to get that project insured from a title and acquisition standpoint. Permitting and takeaway capacity, that's outside of our control. But, we want to increase that efficiency and that success ratio. And we think the more we can be involved from start to finish all the way through to title insurance is how we can best help and best serve. So really excited about that. I mean, we really haven't talked about that, but that title insurance side of our business in Texas and Arizona is really, really picking up. We're starting to see a lot of activity there, and it's been very well received by our clients. And we're tickled pink and excited about what that holds for us and how we'll be able to grow that and expand that offering and really get that out there. It's something that's pretty new for us as far as our clientele is concerned. It's not something we've always offered, but it's going really well. We've had some great success with it, and really excited about what we'll be doing there. We'll probably have some more discussions about that here pretty soon.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be probably having a couple more cocktail hours this year, I would imagine, but I don't know that we're going to get another one in before college football starts. So why don't we end with a prediction here of each team? I've got OU, we've got Arkansas with Brandon, we've got Penn State with Steve, and I forget Brent's team.
You don't need to know them. They suck. They're horrible anyway. Who cares?
I think there's 3 of them ranked in the top 25, and one isn't the Hogs. So
Well,
LSU
there,
for
don't
Mr.
worry.
Broussard. So let's figure out what's our order. Like, who out of those 4 teams, who's going to be ranked high at the end of the regular season?
Well, Arkansas is going to beat LSU, so that won't matter. It won't
all
matter
that
what the
matters.
rankings are. So
I'm gonna write these down. We're gonna
go ahead.
It
It won't matter what the rankings are. We're still going to beat them.
Okay.
We're
What's
not
LSU's
talking
preseason?
about club badminton, Hoss. We're talking about football. We're talking about football, son. We got BK.
LSU's what? Are they in the top 5?
Yeah,
Or are they right above Penn State at 6?
Yeah, but we all know Penn State. That's a token. That's
None
a
of
token
these rankings matter
ranking.
right now.
I mean,
I don't know if we can
nope.
trust these rankings.
I mean, really, what's Penn like? Who they playing? I mean, they play Michigan. Whoop-de-doo. I mean,
Ohio State.
Ohio State
I
and
mean,
Michigan.
we
are
had
big
the
ones.
we had the highlight game, West Virginia, big West Virginia,
Oh.
20-some point underdog.
so scared of them.
I'm telling you right now, if that quarterback, if this new kid is good, as long as we beat Ohio State or Michigan, I think we make it into the playoff.
I would pump
Okay.
the brakes.
So
there.
is that your
Hard.
prediction?
Here's the other deal: if we don't make it in the playoff when they expand, then James Franklin's got to go. It's cool. He can recruit, but hell, those kids can't play.
What? It's like an oxymoron.
I know.
Like
That's-
how he
that's the
recruited
thing.
Lincoln
He can
for
recruit.
I would
But he
recruit
can't.
all kinds of
He
land,
can't
just
get
can't
there.
play.
It's like, oh, cool. We came in 6th. Yeah, awesome.
I think what
Great.
Steve's saying is it doesn't matter who you play. If you lose to the only 2 teams that are any good in that conference, don't matter.
Don't matter.
There we go.
Don't matter.
I mean-
don't matter if you beat the Middle Appalachian State boys choir.
You can beat
football
Purdue
teams.
all you want to.
That's fine. That's fine. You just wait. That's cool. I'll make a prediction. Penn State will be in the playoff. They're going to get their ass kicked in the first game, but they will be there.
Didn't
Okay,
the last
so-
time Arkansas and Penn State played, you lost $100, I think. Yeah,
Oh, that was
a couple of years ago.
I don't remember. I don't remember
A
that.
couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was years ago, Brandon.
Only, yeah.
All
Pretty
right,
sure my
so
Venmo account thanked you for that.
let's give us your ranking, Steve. What is it? It's who's between those 4 teams: LSU, Penn State, Arkansas, and OU. Rank them 1 through
Considering
4 at the end of the
LSU is going
season.
to play Louisiana Tech, the Sisters of the Poor, and UL Monroe the first
They
3
probably have
weeks.
the hardest schedule, Steve.
Yeah, bro. What are you talking about? Those are actually like Jamboree games. That's the freaking Jamboree. Hall.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the rest of the season?
All right, if I want to be honest, I think the end of the year rankings will be LSU, then Penn State, then Arkansas might get kicked down to the B division of the soccer league.
And where's OU in that?
OU is
Who?
still there.
Oh, who?
Oh, who?
Oh, who?
I'll be honest with you. I can't wait to have this next year
Oh,
when
no.
you're going into the SEC.
Yeah, we're gonna
schedule.
be. We will become the Arkansas of the SEC.
So, you go to
You guys
LSU the
actually-
first year. Alabama's
heard
coming
that-
to your house, but it doesn't matter.
I heard that Oklahoma might join the Pac-4
Yeah,
just
probably.
to get out of the SEC.
Just to win a game. So you have OU finishing above or below Arkansas.
Way above. Yeah.
Way
Okay,
above.
so it's good. You've got LSU, Penn, OU, then Arkansas.
That's
All
how, that's how I
What-
would have
What
it
do
right
you?
now.
That's what you have, Brent. Exact same.
Yeah,
I-
that's what I got.
All right. Well,
Although
of course, OU is gonna finish above because they don't even the three teams that they lost
That's
to
what I'm
last year.
saying.
They don't even play them.
Yeah.
They don't even play TCU, Baylor, or Texas Tech, whoever they lost to last year. They don't even play those guys.
Who
Nope.
do they play then?
I'm saying
Who does
just
OU
based on
play?
Texas. That's the only team they play.
and
Oklahoma
OSU.
State.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Come
I
on.
think I've got LSU then Oklahoma just because
Oh,
we have such an easy schedule and they're going to favor us because we're Power 5 and
Yeah.
we'll get
all right,
ahead of Penn.
Khalil, $100 right now.
Okay.
Penn State is over Oklahoma.
At the end of just the regular season, right?
Regular season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
All
I?
right,
End of
we'll
the
do
season-
it. Let's
end
do
of
it.
season rankings. Oklahoma is below Penn State.
Will you
Digital
do
shake.
that with me? Will you do that with me? Oklahoma's above Penn State. I'll take Oklahoma over to Penn State.
Yeah, $100.
All right, done.
See, I
I think
it's
I
just
think
so risky,
you're
Steve. You
probably
lose
right.
2 games, then you're out. We are not going to lose.
Listen, listen. This isn't like Central Florida beating up on Miami Tech all day long. No. No.
That's another team that they play this year.
I think you just named 2/3 of Oklahoma's schedule.
Yeah, you did. That's
I think
we got to have one last hurrah before we are irrelevant for the next decade.
Look it up. It's
Yeah.
like that last party you had before you in college before you actually have to go to work.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Y'all will be I
One
know,
last
I'm gonna
hurrah.
hear this crap all year long. Y'all are gonna be like 10-0, with the strength of schedule ranking of like 112, but you'll be in the playoff discussion because you're OU. And that's just how it can be.
That's just we
And
we
LSU will
always
probably
fall in the playoff.
we'll lose 2 games or some crap by like 2 points, and we'll be number 7. With Dolphin. I mean, we'll be something like that.
We do, the playoff has to expand. I think it does next year, right? Did
12.
they confirm?
Yeah. Goes to 12
next year
next year.
goes to 12.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's going to make it really cool.
Life's gonna be
Okay.
fun.
We got our predictions in. Steve, $100. It's recorded. It's on this podcast, so it's forever enshrined in
It is a
Dudley
record.
folklore.
I can't believe I'm
Forever
betting on
beats
OU.
you.
I know. Right?
No,
What
I
are
was
you doing?
surprised to see Brandon jump in there
Hey.
so quick.
I thought you were going to jump in with an Arkansas bet. Like, I mean, $100 Arkansas is in the top 25 at the end of the
I
year.
hope we play y'all in the bowl game again. I mean, we'll
what,
manhandle you
like
like
the-
we did last time.
The GoDaddy Cotton something.
I don't
It's
care
gonna
what
be
it
the-
is.
It's going to be the crochet bowl or something like that. Yeah.
Belk.com.
Hey, man, as long as we get to play, I don't care.
Man.
Good time, boys.
Okay. Well, it's been fun. Put your cocktails away before you drive home. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Later.
Thanks for listening to The Land Department. Check out our website in the show notes or visit dudley-land.com to learn more about us.